This is Ask Brock. I'm Brock Yorty. This week's question comes from Robert. Brock, we're working in some heavy clays and running a lot of PHPA polymer. How do we know when it's running out? Is there a test that we can do? It's a great question, Robert. And you know, PHPAs or polyacrylamides are chained polymers. They're encapsulating our clays or shales. Really, they encapsulate and try to cross-link everything. So that's why when we have a solids-laden system and we add some, our fluid gets really thick and chunky. So yeah, the biggest thing we got to think about is how do we replace these fluids, just like any fluids, and when are they depleting? And so it comes back to our fluid system, the tanks. Are we running shale shakers? What type of bit are we running? What type of cuttings are we creating with the bit? That is a big piece to this equation. Big cuttings, small cuttings. More surface area is going to encounter depleting out, coating out polymers faster. So if we have clay shales coming out that are jagged, we could break them open and they're dry on the inside, they're not getting sticky, we still have active polymer in the system. When I was working the Ball State University project, we had a bunch of brand new mud puppies, and we were running, some pretty aggressive mill-tooth trichomes. And what we were finding out was we were bringing up big, nice, quarter size cuttings, a half inch to an inch, and they were going across that very coarse shaker screen, scalper, and all of our polymer was going on the ground. And instead of running a pound per 100 and getting the system up where we needed to, we started running a half a pound per 100, but we were adding it more actively. And I wasn't adding it directly to the solids control unit. I was adding it to a pit, making sure that it was mixed up with the rest of my fluids, had the right properties, and then I was adding it back into the active system, because again, we don't want to get those in there cross-linking with the fine solids that we're creating. Had a great mentor that said, get a cup of your fluid and get some, really good chip bentonite or a granular bentonite that we'd use for grouting, and sprinkle it in there, stir it up, and see if it's starting to swell and hydrate or how long it takes. So really the big thing, these things are chains, they're wrapping, they're coating off on the borehole wall. We just need to be more diligent about considering how many cubic feet of material we've moved out of the ground and how often we should be adding whole fluids. And with the solids control unit, we're removing quite a bit in undesirable solids through the cones, what's going off on the ground. So we're probably rebuilding that mud system more than we think. If it's a pit or we're shoveling because it's a mud pan, it can be a little bit harder. But the big thing is for our driller to be reaching down, grabbing those cuttings, breaking them open, seeing if they're dry on the inside, seeing if they're starting to get sticky, that we've transitioned from a jagged cutting to something that's starting to be round, sub-rounded. We could have some uphole velocity issues that are deteriorating our cuttings and we're coating out. But the big thing is I've realized we can run the same amount of polymer, we just add it more often. So instead of running 1 pound per 100, right off the bat, I'm running 3/4 of a pound per 100. Mind you, if you're running solids control units, it's got to really be the shaker screens, and that we're not blinding off those screens, because then all our polymer's gone anyway. And then I'm just adding it more regularly every rod. And sometimes that's where the art of mud mixing comes in and finding out what works best for you. It's a great question, Robert. Hope you're having a great week. Thanks.